Alright guys, today is lesson 8 and we are going to be doing rounding to the thousands and the 10,000s. So yesterday we just did to the thousands, today we're going to go to the 10,000s. If you forget your steps today, they're up here at the top so you can follow each step. It's going to tell you exactly what to do. Alright, let's start at A. Remember, we're going to read the directions and it's going to tell us where to round. It says to the nearest thousand. So I'm going to underline 1,000 because that tells me, or actually I'm going to box it in, because it tells me that we're going to go to the thousands place. So in 4,642, I want to round to the thousands place, so I'm going to circle it. So here's my thousands place. Now I know that I have to start wherever I circle. So my starting point, remember, you're going to take that first digit and you're going to write 4, and then all the other ones behind the comma are going to turn into 0. So 4,000. Then we want to write our high number, our high point. Well, we know if we add 1,000, we would get 5,000. And now we want our midpoint. So remember, half of 1,000 is 500. So this would be 4,500. Now, I want to look at these last 3 digits, or my friend next door, which is a 6. I'm going to ask myself, is this 6 or 600 smaller or bigger than the 5 or 500? Well, I know that 6 and 600 are bigger than this 5 and 500, so I know it's going to go somewhere here. So I'm going to write 4,642. So that means that this number is closest to my 5,000s. So I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to write 5,000. Alright, and B, even though we have a 10,000s place here, we're still rounding to the thousands. So 26,101. Well, my thousands place is the 6. So again, we're going to take these 2 digits in the front of the comma, rewrite them. These last 3 digits we're going to change to 0. So we're starting at 26,000. To get our high point, we need to figure out, well, what's one more than 26,000? Well, 27,000 is 1,000 more. And then we know that half of 1,000 is 500, so this would be 26,500. Now, I can go back and plot it. I'm going to look at these last 3 digits. I have 101. Well, is 101 smaller than 500 or larger than 500? Well, you should know that 100 is smaller, so it's going to be plotted somewhere down here. So 26,101. So we know that this number is closer to 26,000 than 27,000. So I'm going to circle it, and then I'm going to write it. Alright, I want you to do letter C by yourself. You should get, here's our 1,000s place. The neighbor next door is an 8. So remember, if you're 5 or more, you're going to score. So this 8 bumps up that 6 to 7,000. So this is approximately 7,000. You could have written it out. This would have been 306,000. 307,000. Oops, I don't know why I wrote 7,000 there, guys. This is going to be 306,500. So now I'm looking at this 8. We know that 800 is bigger than 500, so it's going to go somewhere right here. So really, we would round to 307,000. Sorry, guys. 307,000. Alright, now this part's new because now we're rounding to the 10,000s place. So I'm going to box that in. So I'm no longer going to circle the thousands place, I'm going to circle the 10,000s place. So in 68,907, we know we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So this 6 is my 10,000s place. So again, everything that's in front of the comma. Alright guys, so now we're going to look at the 10,000s place and round to the 10,000s. So here, if I go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, I know that this 6 is in the 10,000s place. Well, 6 10,000s is 60,000. So that's going to be our starting place. Then, just like up here, we bumped it up by 1,000. Down here, we're going to bump it up by 10,000. So if we add a 10,000 to the 60,000, then we would get 70,000. Now the halfway point is going to be a little bit different, because now we're not going to half 1,000, we're going to half a 10,000. Well, we know that half of 10,000 is 5,000, but we're going to keep this 6. And it should make sense, guys, whenever you look at your number line. 60, 65, 70. Okay? Now that we have our low, our mid, and our high, we can go ahead and plot this number. So now I'm looking at my thousands place, which is an 8. So here's all of my thousands places. Well, is the 8,000 more than 5,000 or less than 5,000? Well, we know that this 8,000 is more than the 5,000, so it's going to be somewhere around here. So now we ask ourselves, is 68,907 closer to 60,000 or 70,000? Well, it's closer to 70,000, so we're going to circle it and then write it in our blank. All right, let's look at B. Even though our number goes to the 100,000s, we are still only rounding to 10,000. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, which is our 8. So I'm going to circle it. 8 10,000s is 80,000. Remember, since we're in our 10,000s, we're not going to add 1,000, so we're not going to 81,000. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is going to be 180,000. So adding a 10,000 to this 8, so 8 plus 1 is 9, so this would become 190,000. Now remember, we're breaking apart our 10,000s in half. So we have 5,000, half of 10,000 is 5,000, and then we're going to keep this upper part. So this would now be 185,000. Again, it should make sense. 180, 185, 190. So now that we have our low, our mid, and our high, we need to look at our thousands place, which is a 3. Okay, so is 3,000 gonna be lower than 5,000 or higher than 5,000? Well, we know that 3,000 is less than 5,000, so our number is going to be somewhere right here, 183,201. So now, is this number closer to 190,000 or 180,000? Well, we know it's closer to this one, so we're going to circle it and then write it in the blank. All right, look at C. We have 195,342. Again, we're rounding to the 10,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So we're going to circle the 9. So this will become 190,000. Then we want to add a 10,000. But guys, think about this. If we go 190 and we count up by 10, so if we're at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, we get to a new number. So if I add 10,000 to this, then it's not going to be 100 something. We're now going to 200,000. Then our midway point, remember, half of 10,000 is 5,000. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. And then we carry everything in the front. So this would be 195,000. So now I can look at my thousands place. Well, this has a 5,000. This has a 5,000. But if we keep going over, now we're at the 300s. Well, this is 5,000 with no hundreds. So that must mean that 300 is more than 0 hundredths, so our number's actually going to be plotted above. So 195,342. So is this number closer to 190,000 or 200,000? Well, we know it's closer to 200,000, so we're going to circle it and write it. All right, flip to the back. All right, the directions say round to the nearest 1,000 and 10,000. So this is where we really have to pay attention. So here it says thousands place. So I know that I'm going to have to circle my thousands. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So I'm going to circle my 1. So that means that my starting place is 31,000. And then if I want to add 1,000, remember I'm not adding a 10,000. I'm adding 1,000. So if I add plus 1 here, then I'm going to get 32,000. Now half of 1,000 is 500. This is where y'all can't get confused. So this would now be 31,500. So now I can plot my number. Well, this is 600. So I'm going to ask myself, is 600 smaller than 500 or bigger than 500? Well, I know that 600 is bigger, so my number is going to plot somewhere in there. So 31,659. And then I know that this is closer to 32,000. So I'm going to circle it and then write it in the blank. Alright. Letter B, though, says to round to the nearest 10,000. So we're going back to the 10,000s. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So we're rounding here. So our starting point is going to be 30,000. If I add a 10,000, we would go from 30,000 plus 10, and 30 plus 10 is 40, so this would be 40,000. Then we have to think of our midway. So remember, now we're thinking half of 10,000. So half of 10,000 is 5,000. And we carry what's in front, which is this 3. Again, it should make sense. 30, 35, 40. Now we can plot this. This 1,000, we need to think, is it smaller than 5,000 or larger than 5,000? Well, we know that 1,000 is smaller, so this number is going to be plotted somewhere down here. 31,659. And we know that that's closer to 30,000 than 40, so we're going to write 30,000. Alright, now, this part's a little different. It says, which rounded number is more accurate? How do you know? Well, the only way to do this, guys, is to subtract and find the difference. So, we're going to subtract 32,000 from 31,659, and then we're going to subtract 30,000 or 31,659 from 30,000. So we're going to write 32,000 minus 31,659. Alright guys, so whenever you subtract, you get the answer 341 away. Now let's subtract this side. So we're going to do 31,659 minus 30,000. Remember, your bigger number has to go on top. 9 minus 0 is 9, 5, 6, 1. So here you can see that when you subtract, your answer is 1,659 away. Well, when you're trying to figure out which one is more accurate, you want the less amount. So we know that rounding to the thousands is more accurate. So I'm just going to circle the whole answer. Alright guys, if you have any questions, let me know.